5, 4, 3, 2. Realtors, you're in the right spot.
We're going to do this together.
Welcome to the Leading Edge Podcast.
These mentors showed me a map of success.
This is the place for real estate pros like you to get better at running your business, balancing your life, and having happy clients.
Do you know how powerful you are?
And now your host, Eric Thompson.
What's up, everyone? It's your good friend, Eric Thompson. This is the Leading Edge Podcast, episode number 76. So exciting, you guys. We got a few super exciting things going on, a few fun things to tell you about before we dive in to today's content. Exciting thing number one is we are on the verge of 10,000 downloads. All right, just on the verge. We will for sure break through the 10,000 mark within probably just a couple weeks. So I am so fired up about that. So thank you so much to all of you for your engagement, for your downloads, for your listening, all of those things. It is so exciting. A couple other things that are exciting. I just graduated my first group of master real estate coaches. They committed 6 months and they are now with certificate in hand. They are now fully prepared to go out and coach realtors, go help people achieve their biggest, most audacious goals. And it was amazing. It was so much fun. It was such a blast. I'm so proud of these people. We had 17 people graduate. And also what's exciting is I just launched my next group of master real estate coaches. So they are off and running, on their way. They'll be done in a few months. And so that is thrilling. It's been so cool to teach people everything I've ever put together in relation to coaching. Another thing that's fun is that we've added some new aspects to Alpha State. The newest one being we have a very lively, very active Facebook group where all the members are now engaged in that private members group. And that's been a blast. It's been an easy way to share content among all those people, share ideas, share thoughts, share inspiration. So yeah, we got some things going on, some really exciting things. So let's dive in, you guys, to today's content. This one is called simply motivation. All right, this is going to be all about motivation. I'll give you some insights, some help, some coaching as it relates to motivation. Motivation is a huge deal. Obviously, right? It's a huge deal. People who are like you, people who are realtors, people who are real estate professionals just like you want to be motivated. You want to know about motivation. You want to know what to do when your motivation, it feels like, goes away. If you feel in a rut, if you feel stuck, et cetera, you want to know about motivation. So I'm going to help you with that. The first thing I want to share, speaking of coaching, I just was talking about my Master Real Estate Coach program. What I want to share with you is if you are in a leadership, management, or coaching role, there's a big thing that you need to know related to motivation. And that is in your role as a coach, whether that be a leader, manager, or a literal coach, but let's just call you a coach. In your role as a coach, what is way more important than encouragement? Way more important than you encouraging your coaching client, that person that you're helping out. More important than you being encouraging to them is you helping them get obstacles out of the way. All right. So the thing that kills motivation for a lot of people is when they feel like there's something in the way. And in your role as a coach, you have the ability to get some things out of the way, but maybe not everything, but you definitely have the ability to get some things out of the way. So maybe it's a person, all right? So people are frequently in the way. Is it a staff person that is not user-friendly? Is it a confusing process? So processes are also things that can be in the way when people don't understand how things are done, all right? What am I supposed to do when, fill in the blank? If people are confused about the steps, about how to get a certain thing done, about how to get a certain thing accomplished, that will be in the way. If they are confused about who does what, who's supposed to help me with this? Who's supposed to help me with that? I don't really get it. That will really kill motivation, all right? Another thing that kills motivation is technology, specifically meaning when someone doesn't know how to use a certain piece of technology, that will really drive down motivation. All right. So in your role as a coach, what can you do to help enhance their technology skills so that's no longer confusing? What can you do to bring clarity to a process, bring clarity to the staff's role? Well, this is who you go to for that. And this person does this, and this other person does these other things, right? When you can bring clarity to that. And also, if you have a person on your team who is problematic, who's, quote, in the way of the people who are on the team, you got to do something about that. So, again, all of you leaders, managers, coaches, just remember, if you want to increase motivation, if you want a thriving culture, if you want a bunch of people who are just really getting after it, the thing that's going to work better than you just encouraging them and, slapping them on the back and telling them to get after it, the thing that will really be encouraging to them is you getting things out of the way. All right, so that's a little lesson for you leaders, managers, and coaches out there. The next thing to understand, and now we're going to talk about you yourself being motivated, whether you are just an agent, a loan officer, or you are a leader manager, we're going to talk about you yourself being motivated. And so something that I hear a lot as a coach is simply, you know what, Eric, I just don't feel motivated anymore. Or I feel like my motivation has gone away. I used to be motivated, but I'm not motivated anymore. I don't know what happened to my motivation. All right. You've probably heard those things. You maybe have even said those things yourself. Here's the deal. This is a big time coaching point I'm going to make for you. All right. I'm going to hit you between the eyes with something. And that's this. You are always motivated. You are always motivated. You are never not motivated. All right. Let's just get that out there. Let's just state the facts. There's no such thing as not being motivated. And you may be thinking, what the heck are you talking about? I will tell you what I'm talking about, but understand, you're always motivated, all right? So your brain is always motivated, all right? So when you really talking about you being motivated, what we're ultimately talking about is your brain. Your brain is always motivated. It always has been motivated. We have brains that have been motivated for eons, for generations and generations. And you know the proof of that? Well, we wouldn't have survived as a species if we hadn't have been motivated. The question becomes, what are we motivated to do? Or what have we motivated not to do? All right. See, the thing is, we are always motivated, but it's just a matter of being aware of what that motivation is focused on. All right. What are we motivated toward? Or sometimes what are we motivated away from? See, here's the thing. There's really three things that our brain is focused on when it comes to motivation. All right. When it comes to motivation, here's how it goes in our brain. And by the way, this is like an old part of our brain. All right. So sometimes called the reptilian brain, the primal brain. This is the oldest part of our brain. And what I mean by that is this is the part of our brain that really hasn't evolved over time, but it's still there. Right. And good news for us, there's another part of our brain that's newer that has evolved. And we will talk about that in a minute. But our primal brain, our reptilian brain, has three things on its mind. Number one, the brain says, I want to avoid pain. It would be so great if at all costs we could avoid anything painful. I'd rather not have pain. So tell you what, let's do what we can to avoid pain. Right? That I'm sure makes sense. You get that. You understand that. You can probably sense your brain, that part of your brain, the old part of your brain, kind of speaking up and saying, yeah, let's not have pain. Number two, your brain says, let's also not have effort. We would like to reduce any effort. All right. So no pain. Number one, reduced effort. Number two, because the brain doesn't like to expend a whole bunch of energy, right? It doesn't like to expend any energy that it deems as being unnecessary, right? Because you know what the brain likes to do? The brain likes to survive, right? That's what that part of our brain is really into, is survival. So if it is draining and consuming a whole bunch of energy, that makes the brain worried, that part of the brain, because the brain says, geez, we don't want to run out of energy, so let's not have a whole bunch of extra effort. That's number two. Number three, that part of our brain is really into seeking pleasure. that part of our brain says, yeah, let's do things that really feel good. So as long as it doesn't involve pain, as long as it doesn't require much effort, and if it feels good, then I'm in. That's what your reptilian brain says. So the thing is, there's all kinds of motivation there, right? There's pretty high levels of motivation for your brain to do those three things: to avoid pain, reduce effort, and seek pleasure. Your brain's like, oh yeah, we're motivated, we're down, we're all about that. Let's go do a whole bunch of that. Let's go do a whole bunch of things that don't involve pain or effort, and things that are going to make us feel good. The great example is if we think about a stereotypical teenager, right? Now, I'll respect to teenagers. I'm about to have one here in my household in just a couple months, which is kind of wild. I'm speaking right now very stereotypically about a teenager. And I'm not saying that all teenagers are this way or even the majority are this way, but let's just speak and think stereotypically about a teenager. What's a stereotypical teenager doing if they're at home? Well, they're laying around on the couch and they're watching TikTok, right? They got their phone, they're kicking it on the couch or watching TikTok. They're probably, about 2.5 hours in on TikTok. And so the parent of that teenager might be inclined to say something like, you know what, I'm so frustrated. My teenager just isn't motivated. I wish my teenager was motivated. My teenager is so not motivated. Well, on the surface, that's how it looks. But now that we are smarter, now that we know about how the reptilian brain works, we can say with confidence, we can say clearly, you know what, that teenager is super motivated. They're very motivated to be laying on the couch and watching TikTok. They're more motivated to do that than clean their room or do their laundry or do their homework or, even go play outside, right? They're more motivated to do that. Why? Because laying on the couch watching TikTok, there's no pain, there's no effort, and it's pleasurable. That's what's happening. So that teenager, it turns out, is super motivated. So the first step here, guys, the first step to feeling like you get your mojo back, feeling like you're going to get your motivation pointed in the right direction, is just to be aware. All right. So step one is awareness. Just understand what's going on. All right. So that way you can be taking a step back even from your own brain. Like you can watch yourself think. You can watch that part of your brain at work and be like, aha, I see what you're up to. I'm onto you, reptilian brain. I see what's happening here. I see what's going on. I know all about you now. I know about you. I know what you're into. What you're into is avoiding pain. You're into reducing effort, and you're into seeking pleasure. So I get what you are doing to me right now. I get what you're luring me toward. I'm onto you, little tricky reptilian brain. Now, of course, I'm being kind of sarcastic just to make this point, but really that is effective. That is effective for you to have an awareness and understanding of it, right? And that alone can start to shift things, because what then happens is this: you understand that you're actually in control. All right, so you're not at the whim of this, you're not at the mercy of this. You understand you can control it, and the reason why you know that is because you can actually think about it, right? You can discern, you can have an awareness of what's happening, which means that you can grasp control. You can get yourself back in control, right? So there's the reptilian part of the brain trying to drive this car, right? Trying to drive the bus, trying to drive your vehicle in a certain direction, and you can grasp the steering wheel back, right? Like you can get back in control and be like, no, we're not going to do that anymore. Because the thing is, reptilian brain, and this is what you need to say back to the reptilian brain. What you need to say back is, actually, although it may seem like this thing you want me to do is going to be avoiding pain, if I actually just only do that for a long period of time and not do the things that I really ought to be doing, there will be a whole lot of pain that will come my way, right? And reptilian brain, even though there's this thing that you are trying to get me to do that seemingly doesn't cause a lot of effort, what's going to happen if I keep doing that, this thing that maybe doesn't require a lot of effort, is that eventually I will have to expend a whole lot of effort to get myself out of a hole that I've put myself in. And also reptilian brain, this thing that you're telling me is pleasurable to do over time. If I keep doing that, if I just do that over and over and over again, it won't feel good at all, right? Like, so what you can think about, I mean, let's use ice cream as an example. I mean, let's use eating ice cream, eating a pint of ice cream. Well, yeah, that would be pleasurable. But if you did that frequently, over and over and over again, eventually there's not going to be much pleasure involved in that, right? Like that's going to be the opposite of feeling good if that's all you're doing to yourself. And you doing your version of laying around on the couch and watching TikTok, that's the teenager version, but whatever your version is of that. If you're just doing that over and over and over again, hour after hour, not getting the things done that you need to get done, there's a whole lot of pain coming your way, right? And there's actually a whole lot of effort that's coming your way. So that, again, awareness is key, right? To grasp control, get back in control, and let the other part of your brain take over, which is what? It's the prefrontal cortex, right? So the prefrontal cortex is the newer part of our brain. That is the part of our brain that's more recently evolved. That's where we do all of our critical thinking, right? So it's in that part of our brain where we can understand the long-term consequences of not doing what we're supposed to do. And even better, guys, I have been talking about consequences, but even better, it's within that part of our brain that we can understand the long-term benefits, right? That we can understand the payoff, that we can understand the massive upside to doing the things that will move us forward. So ultimately, guys, here's the trick, all right? So here's the really effective, really powerful trick with all this, okay? And let's call it a hack, right? So here's the brain hack. Now, and this is going to be in addition to understanding that there will be long-term pain involved if you don't change things up. It's in addition to understanding that there will definitely be long-term pleasure involved when you start doing the things that are going to move your life forward. But the hack is to pull the feeling of that experience into the present. So to pull the feeling from the future into the present. So if you did the things that you ought to do, that ultimately that's going to make you feel really, really good. All right. So let's use exercise as the example. And we use it because it's such an easy example, but we could also for sure talk about different things you can do to be building your business, reaching out to clients, connecting with them, sending them valuable information, following up, right? Doing all those things, right? Scheduling one-on-one connecting times with clients and scheduling client events and all those things. But let's use exercise to make this point, because you're going to get it when I make this point. You're going to get it. All right. So we know that if we don't exercise, like if we're just not taking care of our body because we don't want to expend the effort and because it may be kind of painful in the short term, we know that eventually that's going to cause pain. And we know that eventually is going to cause us to expend other kinds of efforts. And we know that there won't be pleasure involved. That won't feel good, right? And we know that if we do start working out, we can understand and discern and have some critical thinking and realize that in the future, there is going to be a payoff. But here's the hack. Here's the hack in this example. The hack, and this is really cool. This is amazing, you guys. This is one of the most amazing things that I could ever teach you. The hack is this. You consider the feeling that you're after by exercise, right? If by the payoff that a really disciplined, a really effective, a really consistent workout routine is going to get you, the payoff is going to be a feeling of energy. It's going to be a feeling of pride. It's going to be a feeling of just amazingness, right? It's going to be a feeling of healthy, right? If you were to do that over consistently, if you were to work out, you would say, you know what I feel now, I feel so healthy. I feel so proud. I feel so energized. So what you do? You pull that feeling into the present. So you say to yourself, you know what? I don't have to wait around to feel that. I can feel that right now. I can feel that right now. Right now, today, I can feel proud. I can feel energized, and I can feel healthy. And it's because I feel those things that I am all in on this workout regimen, on this workout routine, right? So you actually start with the feeling that you're after, right? So you start the workout routine feeling healthy, feeling proud, feeling energized. And that's easy because you can easily say, you know what, I'm so proud for starting. This makes me feel so healthy to be doing this exercise routine now consistently. It makes me feel so happy. And it also, I feel energized just even starting, right? Even though I'm at the very beginning of this process, it energizes me to even start. So, you guys, that is the hack. If you want to be motivated, you want to pull the emotional payoff from the future into the present. All right. So, decide what it is that you're after as an emotional payoff, the thing that you're hoping this activity would bring you in the long term, and pull it into the future. So maybe in your business, maybe it's valued. You know, you want to get this result because you're finally going to feel valued. You'll finally feel worthy. You'll finally feel significant. Maybe also related to a financial goal, it could be secure. I want to finally feel secure. Well, any of those kind of feelings, anything like that, just pull those into the future. I'm sorry, into the present. Pull them from the future into the present. And that is, my friends, how you get motivated. Hey, I hope that this was helpful. I hope you guys got some good takeaways, some good motivation from this. I hope you now fully understand how to go motivate yourself. I so appreciate you guys engaging with this. Again, if you want to know more about Alpha State and get signed up and get into that class, into that mastermind, go to alphastateclass.com. It will change your life. I know it will. I can say that because it's changed other people's lives. So go there, alphastateclass.com. I appreciate you guys so much. I'll let you know when we get through 10,000 downloads. And in the meantime, enjoy life on the leading edge. Take care.